back to my channel English Made Easy. So we have already learned about what is tense. So what is tense? Tense is something which sets the time of a verb, time of a work done, whether it was done yesterday, now or tomorrow. So what is tense? Tense is something which sets the time of a verb. We have already learned about present tense and the forms of present tense like simple present, present continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. So today I am going to teach you simple past. Please refer to my other videos for having the track of it. Simple past. What is the form of using simple past? The past form of the verb. We have already learned there are three forms of verb. That is present, past and participle. So, in simple past, we have to take the past form of the verb. That is, if present form of the verb is do, the past form of the verb is did. So, in simple past, we have to take the past form of the verb. That is did or sing, sung. The past form of the verb is sung. So, while using simple past, we have to use the past form of the verb like did, ate, sung, drank. Refer to any good grammar book like Wren and Martin and you can read about the three forms of the verb. There you will learn about the past form of the verb. So you have understood what is the form? We have to use the past form of the verb. Now the time. The main thing is how can we relate time with the verb. What is the time? Any work which had happened in the past, the day before, not today. Any work which happened in the past, not today, but the day before or much more earlier than that. Any work which happened yesterday or the days before, in the past time. Time is the past time, not now, not in the span of a day, but a day before or days back falls under simple past. For an example, I watched television yesterday. See, we are using the past form of the verb. We are putting the subject, the verb and the object. The past form of the verb. I watched television. I did my work yesterday or I did my work 3 days back, 3 days ago. I went there a week ago or I went there yesterday. So let me repeat. Any work which happened not today, not in the span of a day, but a day before or days before falls under simple past and here we have to use the past form of the verb. That is sung, did, ate, drunk. These are the past form of the verb. It is as simple. So it is the simple past. Now we move on to the second form of past, that is past continuous. We have already learned in present continuous. What is that? In present continuous we have learned that any work we are doing it, any work which we are doing it right now. As if I am teaching right now. I am doing a work right now. You are listening right now. That has happened in present continuous tense. Then what is past continuous tense? Past continuous. Listen to it very carefully. Past continuous. See, past is also there and the word continuous is also there. Form was or were plus verb plus ing. Plus verb plus ing. That is the present form of the verb plus ing. We have to use was or were plus, and in the present, simple present, what we have used? We have used am is are plus verb plus ing. But as it is past tense, we are using was or were. Be very careful about it. We are using was or were instead of am is are as we have used it in present continuous. Now what is the time? Any work which was happening continuously. Any work which was happening continuously for a time in the past. Any work which was happening, if it is a timeline, any work which was happening continuously. For an hour, for half an hour, for 5 minutes, any work which was happening constantly in the past falls under past continuous. For an example, I was watching a serial yesterday for an hour. I was watching. So, a work which I was doing continuously without any stop. I was watching, see, we are also using this form, was, I was, watch plus ing, I was watching television for an hour. They were playing outside. They were, with they, we use were. They were playing outside. Okay. I was watching television. They were playing outside. I was writing something. Any work which I was doing for a span of time, not now, but in the past. In the past time, continuously I was doing falls under past continuous. The form is was, were plus verb plus ing, and the time is any work which I was doing continuously in the past. For an example, I was teaching for an hour yesterday. I hope you understand. That is past perfect. We have already learnt about present perfect. What is the meaning of present perfect? Any work that is not happening right now, but it has been completed in the span of a day. So, what is the meaning of past perfect now? If present perfect means that it is not happening now, but the work has been completed, what does past perfect mean? Past perfect means that any work, if it is a timeline, is not completed in the near past, but long back. Any work which has been completed in the long back. What is the form? We have to use had plus third form of the verb. We already know that what is the third form of the verb? The participle form. We have to use the participle form of the verb. That is done, eaten, taken, the participle form of the verb. Any work which has happened in the distant past, not near past, in the distant past. For example, they had fought. See, we are using had plus third form. Fight, fought, fought. Third form, they had fought a war. They had lived there in the 1950s. Long back, not in the near past, but previous past, not in the near past. As in the present perfect, we use not now, a work which has been completed. Even in past perfect, try to understand that it is not in the near past, but long back. The Vikings had captured the place long back. Long ago, the Vikings had captured. So this is one implication of past perfect. Another very, very important application of past perfect, I am going to tell you, listen to it very, very carefully. If two works are happening in the past, with the first completed work, we use past perfect. And with the second completed work, we use simple past. Listen to it very carefully. For an example, I had finished my work after she came. So which is the first work that I have done? I had finished my work. Then only she came. So with the first completed work, I am using past perfect. And with the second completed work, word, that is, after she came, we are using the simple past. What is the time? If two words, if this is the timeline of past, if two words are happening in the past, with the first completed word we use past perfect. With the second completed word we use simple past. We reached the station. The train had left. The train had already left. The train had already left. This is the first word. Then we reached the station. So with the first word, again let me repeat, we are using past perfect. And with the first word, we are using simple past. In a sentence of a past tense, we cannot use simple past twice. We have to use past perfect because that is the first word that is completed. Then we have to use simple past. So in a full sentence, we cannot use simple past twice in a past sentence. The train had left. The train had already left. First word, done. The train had left before we reached. Simple past, past perfect. The train had left before we reached the station. The doctor came after the child had been sick. The child had been sick is the first word. The child had been sick. The child had been sick for a longer time. Then the doctor had come. Second word. First word is the child had been sick. First word is the child had been sick. Then the doctor came. So I hope you have understood. If there is any problem, do comment in the comment section and try practicing sentences using past perfect. She left the hospital after she was recovered. She left the hospital. She was recovered, first word. She was recovered, first word. Then she left the hospital. So, this is the first, this is the second word. With the first word, let me again repeat. With the first completed word, we are using past perfect. And with the second completed word, we are using simple past. I hope you have understood. Now, we move into another very important segment of past tense. That is past, perfect, even continuous. That is past, perfect, continuous. Why I am breaking the name? Because in the name, a lot of mystery remains. The name only suggests the time of the verb, the time of the tense that we have to use. Past, perfect, continuous. So what is the form? Form is had plus been plus verb plus ing. Had plus been plus verb plus ing. Time is any work which had begun in the past. Now, I am moving to past perfect continuous. So, from the name you can understand there is past, there is perfect and even continuous. What is the meaning of past perfect? That we have already learned. Past perfect means not in the near past but in the previous past. In the previous past. And then there is continuous even. So what is the form? Had plus been plus verb plus ing. Time. What is the time of using past perfect continuous? See, any work which had begun in the past, in the previous past rather, in the previous past, continued for a time because there is even continuous and even ended in the past. Any work which had begun long back, continued for a span and even ended there. If we draw the timeline, any work which had begun not in the near past but in the earlier past, okay, it had happened for a time and even ended, okay. If it was present perfect continuous, it would have been still continuing. But past perfect continuous, it happened long back, went for a time and even ended. For an example, they had been 10 years. Presently, they don't stay there. They had been living there. Had plus been plus living. Verb plus ing. Live is the verb, present form of the verb plus ing. They had been living there for 10 years. Earlier they had been living there, but presently they don't live. Any work which had begun earlier, not in the recent past but previous past, happened for a span of time and ended in the past, falls under past perfect continuous. In 1950s, a war had been taking place. A war had been taking place. Had plus been plus verb plus ing. A war had been taking place in the 1950s. Now, it is not happening. Any work, let me again repeat, which happened in the past, started in the past, not near past, but earlier past, moved for a span of time and ended in the past. So why are we learning this? To communicate better, to write better English, to communicate in proper English, we are learning tense and nothing else. I hope you are understanding. Give your reviews and comments. Thank you.